is the Jeep Gladiator doing, and would I buy it again? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. It is still raining here. I think I might need to get rid of the Gladiator and invest in an Arc. I don't know. But anyway, it's a good day to talk about the Jeep Gladiator, how it's doing, and whether or not I would actually buy one again. You know, first of all, let me say, I am a Jeep Gladiator enthusiast. I love the Jeep Gladiator. It's one of my favorite vehicles of all time. I've mentioned that before, and it still holds true today. But how is it doing? Let's talk about the power. First of all, before I get into it, it is a 2020. We're now in the 2022 model year, so it's 2 years old, 2 model years old. Number one, power. You know, I've mentioned on the channels before how powerful it is, how quick it is, how fast it accelerates, and it hasn't lost a beat. You know, sometimes when you get a vehicle, I had a BMW years ago, and it was nice and quick at first, and it seemed to lose something. It seemed to lose a step. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I just got used to it. It felt different to me or what, but it just seemed to lose something. And I've noticed that in other vehicles as well. I have not noticed that in the Jeep Gladiator. It still seems the same as it did the day that I got it. Spot on, quick, fun to drive. I love it. Number two, fuel economy. If there's anything that lets the Jeep Gladiator down, it's probably fuel economy. You know, realistically, in the real world, I'm getting 14.6 miles per gallon. That's mostly city driving, mostly somewhere in the 35 to 50, 55 mile an hour range, depending on what country road I'm driving on. But that's not real great. You know, I thought it was going to get a little bit better, actually. I know it's rated higher than that, and I got to say that I have found that the ratings that are on the sticker, you know, the sticker that's on the sides of the windows, the Moroni, I think it's called, always overestimates the fuel economy. And that's probably because they test these vehicles in the most perfect, acceptable conditions that they can. So that's been a little bit disappointing to me, although I realize it is a truck, it is a Jeep. I never expected it to be a hyper-miler. Number three, fit and finish. You know, I've noticed in other vehicles, again, after you have them for a while and drive them around, they go over bumps and articulate and all that kind of stuff. Things can move around. Body panels don't match up. The seams don't look right. Things can even pop off. You know, in the Tundra that I had most recently, after sitting outside, which the Jeep Gladiator does as well, one of the speaker panels in the dash started to warp up a little bit. It started to pop up above the dash. Now, it's not a huge deal. It wasn't like it was a big thing, but it drove me nuts because I always saw it. Of course, it was on the driver's side. Haven't had any issues like that with the Jeep Gladiator. Rides perfectly and doesn't jostle around enough, I guess, to mess anything up. So there's no fit or finish issues, both on the outside and the inside. Everything is wearing well. No big scratches or areas that don't look good in the truck from use. Even the seats still look brand new. So very impressed with that as well. Number four, we have to talk about the fun factor. You know, after you have and get used to a vehicle, after you have it for a while, sometimes the fun wears off. You know, I had bought a Honda Civic a while back. It was a 2-door manual transmission. And when I drove it at the dealership, it was fantastic. But I gotta say, that fun factor wore off very quickly for me. Like in about 2 months, I traded that thing off. One of the worst purchases I have ever made. Never gonna do that again. But I haven't noticed that with the Jeep Gladiator. The fun factor is still there. It's still a blast to drive. I love it. It's still splitting time though now with the Hyundai Santa Cruz because that's a blast to drive as well. But the Gladiator is still my go-to for daily type stuff. And it's also the one that I'm not afraid to leave parked in parking lots. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe it's because it looks more rugged and I just don't worry about it as much. I still park 100 miles away, don't get me wrong, but I just don't have that same worry when I'm leaving the Jeep Gladiator places. Who knows? Number 5, reliability and issues. You know, I had a Jeep Gladiator before this one. It was the same year, same trim, same everything, except it did not have, or rather it did have the tow package. That was the only difference. And it had issues. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to dwell on it now, but it had a check engine light come on. It had auto stop failure, probably due to that stupid auxiliary battery that is part of that system. And it had a black radio screen one time. That's it. Never occurred again in that truck. That's the reason that I got rid of it initially, because an opportunity came up to get this one that I have now, my second 2020. And I gotta say, it's been spot on. No issues, no reliability problems, and I'm very happy with it. Although, if I'm being honest, every time I get in it, because of my first experience, I always look at the dash, hoping that that check engine light isn't gonna be there. And so far, it has not been. Very happy with that. I wanna mention another thing. There were a couple of recalls, I think, on the Jeep Gladiator. There was some kind of suspension bar or something in the front for the steering. I never had to do that because I've never had any issue with the steering. Now, I did check at the dealership to see if mine was included, you know, the VIN number and all that stuff, and they told me it was not. So pretty happy about that. Also, I believe there was a steering gearbox, aluminum versus steel, where they were having problems with the aluminum version. I don't have any problems with that either. Now, maybe down the road with age and wear, that will cause a problem. I hope not. I'll probably have moved on to another version of the Jeep Gladiator by then anyway, but no issues whatsoever with my truck. It is fantastic. Now, the question, would I buy it again? Absolutely, I would. And I've even considered trading it off for another Jeep Gladiator, a different trim level. But in thinking about that, what am I really gonna get? It would basically be the same truck with just some more features and junk on it. Maybe some more decals. If I went to the Mojave, it would have a different suspension, which by the way is stiffer. I'm really not looking for a firmer ride than what I have now. I think it's just perfect in the version that I have, which by the way is the Sport S, no tow package. So anyway, how is the Jeep Gladiator doing and would I buy it again? It's fantastic and I absolutely would. Leave a comment, let me know. If you have a Jeep Gladiator and you've had it for a while, would you buy it again? Or maybe you're looking to go into something else. Leave a comment, let me know why. I'd be curious. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive MT, all about mini trucks. Right now, the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which I just recently purchased. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.